Oh, actually, fun fact about the Machinist. Kai, did you ever play Final Fantasy VI?
I'm trying to remember. I think so.
It was originally called
yes.
3 in North America back in the day.
Yeah.
Also, hello, Jolene.
Like, hey, Evan.
Anyways, fun trivia with that. The Machinist class in this game has... You remember King Edgar? He had all those gadgets, like auto crossbow and bioblaster and stuff.
E.
The Machinist job in this game gets all of those abilities.
Nice.
So it's a reference to that guy.
Ability, but you have to stand still to be able to use it. You move, it puts the ability on cooldown. So.
Yeah, it's one of those channeled ones, I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyways, the abilities aren't as strong as they were in Edgar's version, but they are the same abilities. So that's kind of cool. Fun fact for people. Alright. I think we had some side questing, or did we do those over? Oh, I don't see any side quests actually. Did we already do them? Oh, they start down there, that's why. Okay. Alright, so we have a dungeon to do and some side quests to do. Do you have a preference as to the order?
Nope.
Snow, how about you?
Excuse me.
What do you think, Snow? Do you want to side quest first, or do you want to do our dungeoning first? Either's fine.
Can do some side quests, yeah. For
Okay.
now.
There's not a lot in this zone, but there's a few.
Yeah, the dungeon is something.
It's a bit longish because it's the last dungeon of the main game, and soon a little side questing first can ease us back into game mode a bit. All right, let's head south, as that is where they start.
I'm relatively sober, so even by the time we get into it, we should be even more fine.
All right, Kai, remember last dungeon we did? Remember the last dungeon we did? There was a bunch of cutscenes during the dungeon, and we couldn't control the text speed during it.
Yeah.
It's gonna do that again.
But after that, we'll be fine.
This will be the last dungeon that does it, because after that they'll realize they've realized their mistake and they stop doing it. They're just trying to be dramatic, but it caused some unexpected problems with pacing. Especially with people who are, you know, playing alt characters or just redoing the dungeon to help people or whatever. They still had to sit through all this cutscene that they've already seen before. At high standards. Garrison prepares to march, leaving the watchtowers undermanned. I would ask you to stand sentry and see to our flags fly high for all to see. I can read.
Can you?
I can read, it doesn't mean I can talk. Alright.
Okay.
This guy is... needs some scimitars delivered. Okay.
So all of that direction.
Yeah, well, the whole zone is north of us, so... definitely going to be north. But one of it... most of it, actually, not very much north. Yeah, let me tell you, I worked my first Monday ever at this job yesterday, and wow, was it a nice shift.
Oh?
Mondays are nice and easy. I like it. None of this Saturday bullshit. I have to work one more weekend before my schedule changes, so I will be working this Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week, but that'll be the last time I do those. Which is going to be a welcome change, because they're well, Fridays aren't that bad, but Saturday and Sunday are kind of crazy, and I don't like them. It's funny though, because this change is happening for other reasons. Like, I didn't request the change. The change came from something else. And they asked me if I could make the change. But I think I like the change, so hey. An improvement has come upon me unexpectedly.
Cool.
It has caused me to reschedule everything else, but I think it's that's a price I'm willing to pay.
I had to do something with the printer real quick, so I'm a little bit behind.
It's alright.
Over here. Avoid the hunt here, but okay, he's behaving actually.
Oh, there's a hunt?
So,
Okay.
yeah,
I didn't even realize. I didn't notice him. Oh, he's not aggro, that's why.
Yeah.
Still, I wouldn't taunt him just to and tempt fate, but...
He's only level 50, y'all.
Yeah, but they're unusually strong for even the level that they're listed as. We probably wouldn't die immediately, but... You know. Why fuck around? I don't know how many people those things typically require to beat, though.
I mean...
It wouldn't kill us in 2 hits like it did before, though, that's for sure. Well, maybe me, but not you.
I think I'd almost survive it, honestly. It's kind of cute.
I am very squishy. What do you think, Snow?
I am not. I am small, but not squishy.
How much variation do we tend to have in those guys?
Okay. That actually was kind of obnoxious there for a sec.
I've actually never unlocked those clan hunts or whatever they're called. So I don't know how strong they actually are. How much variation have you experienced in how strong they are, Snow?
Okay, how the fuck do I get up here?
Over
Easily,
here.
just jump.
This way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, you'll jump better if you go, yeah, when you do it.
It's science.
I mean, you've seen it in action during my streams, so I've proven it is true. Oh yeah, fun fact, Kai, that weird hunt ghost down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any players who are playing the Blue Mage class can learn an ability specifically from that guy down there. Very dangerous. Also, the drill machines are on here as well. Remember the Magitech armors with the drill hands?
Uh-huh.
There's a spell they learn from those guys too. Blue Mage is a weird class. Fun fact: you can't queue for dungeons if you're a Blue Mage, because Blue Mages break the game. Meta. They can heal and tank and DPS. Not all three at exactly the same time, but they're not as good a healer as a proper healer. But they're a pretty good healer for somebody who's not really a healer.
They're like a red mage, then.
They're better at healing than a red mage. Or at least a red mage in this game. They're more like a red mage from Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah.
Red mage in this game exists, but is fairly different. It's not tanky at all, and it's very moderately a healer. It really focuses on damage output in this game. But it heals better than a summoner does, I'll tell you that. Summoners and scholars have the same main healing spell, but that's just because they're the same base class. But for summoners, it sucks because their mind stat is terrible. But they technically have it. And it is a complete waste of time trying to use it. Because it heals like 3 pixels worth of health. It's so weak.
Oof.
That's what happens when your casting stat is incredibly low because it's not your class's focus, you know? I don't know why red mages heal better. Maybe their potency is just higher, even though their stat is low. I'm not sure. I still wouldn't rely on a red mage to heal a party during a dungeon. But they can heal themselves halfway okay when they're soloing.
They do have a raise ability, so they can help if a healer is down
Mhm.
and the other healer is focused on trying to keep the rest of the party alive.
Yeah. Both Summoner and Red Mage can res, and that can be useful. Either if somebody else has died and that person wants to res them so that the healer can focus on healing, or if the healer has died.
Yep.
All right. Also, I've been talking to Snow a little bit about this, but I'm glad I chose for this character to be a scholar and a sage instead of an astrologian, because I've determined that the astrologian class kind of sucks. Its gear is very pretty and the spells are pretty, but it's a bit weak as a class. Not so weak that it's not viable, but it's a little more difficult to play than a white mage or a scholar.
They are a healer class. They are not a damage class.
Yeah, although they are very good at one thing, I will say, which is getting their mana back. They're better at getting their mana back than the other classes, but the white mage not only damages better, but also heals better. But the astrologian heals well enough. It's certainly viable. I just don't like it as much. Grenade! Fire in the hole! Don't ask which hole.
Oh no. Ah!
I like how I can see the healing effects done by my fairy, even if she's not casting them on me. I can still see the embrace message coming up when she heals Kai. That's kind of nice.
There we go.
Yeah. Although I have to say, the astrologian is probably kind of a fun class if you're a person who's interested in tarot, because they do a lot of tarot-based stuff.
Yep.
Considering
I've
that
been
they are
told
in
I
it.
should pick up a tarot deck.
I wonder if they sell Final Fantasy XIV themed tarot decks, because it's different star signs.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. It's weird because one of the main class mechanics is drawing tarot cards and then applying them to a person on your team as a buff. And the buff will be stronger or weaker depending on what role the person you use it on is. Every tarot card has 2 different class roles that it gives a stronger buff to than everybody else. So, for example, tank or healer and magical DPS, or tank and melee DPS, or something like that.
I just
All
more
right.
meant in the sense of like an actual tarot deck.
Yeah, I know.
See if
I was
can
making a
have,
complete-
like,
Mhm.
one of the stream gimmicks be like do a reading or something.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was just making an entirely adjacent comment. Yeah.
Might be fun.
That could be a lot of fun, actually. I think you should do it. Especially if it's a thing you have a personal interest in. Which I think you do.
Well, it's something that people have told me to do repeatedly because, it kind of goes part and parcel with the rest of the whole, witchcraft aesthetic. And it's like, I mean, maybe I'll give it a shot if I can find a deck that really resonates with me, like the art style and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why there's so many different.
Oh, that
kinds,
could be interesting.
Because that's part of tarot, is that the style of the card is supposed to attract you. Like,
I like it.
If I can find that deck, I could absolutely see getting something like that and learning it.
You know, on that note, I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to try any of the Persona games, but they use tarot a lot in their game mechanics. In certain ways. Not as actual readings, but tarot is involved in the game in a way. You might find interesting. Also, remember I told you a little while back about
she
that...
looks like she has first-class privates. I mean, what?
Agreed. But
let me cast this potion on you.
Remember a little while ago I told you about that CRPG that uses a tarot deck as a replacement for dice, and it is a steampunk. I tried a demo for that a little while back, and it was pretty interesting. Although I didn't get to see any combat. Still, it seemed interesting. It was called, what was it? Sovereign Syndicate is the name of the game. If you want to try out the demo for yourself. I don't know how the combat works though. And I'm not 100% sure how this tarot system works, because what they do is there are 4 skills in the game, and each one has a tarot deck of its own associated to it, and I think it's based on...
I gotta kill grenades. I just noticed that.
Oh. I don't know the proper tarot terminology, but I will call it a suit of tarot, like cups or wands or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if suit's the right name, but it's the term my brain wants to use for it. So it's like one skill will be, like, you know, the 1 of cups, the 2 of cups, etc.
Yeah, I know.
And then you draw a card from that thing, from that particular deck, whenever you're using that skill to determine the value of. Like, instead of getting like your D20 roll, each card has a value, and that value would be the result of your quote-unquote dice roll. But apparently you can equip cards to them as well. Like, not only is there a deck to draw from, but there's like 2 cards that sit face up beside the deck. And I don't understand how those work, because the demo didn't explain that. But I do know that the only deck I had that had 2 face-up cards next to it when I started the game was the skill that I chose to focus on at the beginning of the game. So I don't know. I don't know the specific details. But there's a whole ass system with it that's got its own menu and everything. So it could be interesting. I guess, oh, we got 20 seconds left to finish this fate. We're going to fail it, but we'll at least kill 1 more grenade so that we get more points. Maybe 2. Even if you fail a fate, Kai, the better you do on the progress bar, the more reward you get. You still get a reward for failing. Yeah. You just don't get the full reward.
There.
Like okay. There. We still got 5,000 XP.
Yeet. And
okay.
You got your entries for the grenades, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Nice. Well, there's 2nd-class privates over here. I'm not sure if that's better or worse.
Oh.
As far as military ranks go, is 2nd class better than 1st class, or the other way around?
It's like something that I actually do not remember. I believe 2nd class is technically better, but I haven't thought about it in forever, and
yeah. It's idle curiosity.
One of my big life failures, so I haven't really thought about it heavily in a while.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad that you're not having to go through the shit that military people have to go through.
You're not wrong, and statistically, I actually would have had it worse. Because that's something that they've discovered. like snipers and drone pilots actually have PTSD worse than most other
That's
kinds
surprising
of
to me.
armed forces. Well, it is at first when you first realize that, but then you realize that, you know, when you're in a combat situation, it doesn't matter who's shooting at you. You just need to stop them from doing it. Like, it's still an effect, but there's no it's a person, but it's really more of a human being because you don't know them. You don't understand what they're doing. You don't know how their life is. Both in a situation of surveillance drones turned lethal and in the situation of a sniper, both of these are cases where you are studying these people. You sort of get to know what their life is like, and you're looking them in the eye
because
when you're blowing them away.
You're doing it from more remotely, but you spent more time surveilling them before you do it.
And yeah, like I said, especially with a case with a sniper, you're looking them in the eye when you do it.
Many times,
Yeah.
yes.
The perspective changes now, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, because initially you're thinking, well, you're doing it. You're more detached because you're farther away. You're not like up in their face. So, but then you don't think of the fact that you were probably spying on them longer first.
No, in a weird sort of way, you get to know who they are because you know
Yeah.
where they're going to be, what they're going to be doing.
And you're probably shooting them when they're in the middle of just going about their lives rather than being in the middle of combat.
Yep.
So it's more of a cold blood situation. That makes sense.
But ultimately, if it worked the way it was supposed to, what I was told it was going to do, less people would have had to have died overall, so that would have been something I would have given up a little bit of my mind for. A more peaceful world?
Yeah.
I would have fought for it.
I mean, I like the idea of a smaller body count. Ideally, it'd be great if there was a no body count at all, but that's never going to happen.
Well, yeah, obviously that's,
Or at least
ideal.
Not for a few hundred more years, at least, anyway. The world might reach a peaceful utopia someday, but sure as fuck not in my lifetime. An eye for elixirs. I have an urgent need of Ironman corneas. Need to make potions out of corneas. From giant demon eyeballs.
Lovely.
That's very specific.
It's cases like this that I do kind of wonder if people understand what cornea is. It's like, did you Google that word to know what you were talking about?
In a lot of cases I would agree, but Final Fantasy XIV is very good about its attention to detail, so I think they did. Other games, I would question it, though. Yes.
Generally, I wouldn't question it in terms of Final Fantasy, I agree. But we're also in a situation where that's just the surface of the eyeball. That's
it's true.
That would be
but
incredibly
again,
difficult to harvest.
It would be, except for if you consider the fact that these are creatures that are like 50% of their body mass is eyeball. Their eyeball is almost as big as your body, so...
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's true. There's some logic here.
In this one specific case, I think it works. Only because of that, though.
Yeah, if you have that much eyeball, then you could try whole different kinds of foods too. Imagine, cornea steaks. What would that even be
Yeah.
like? Would
I don't
it
know,
stay clear?
That could be a meal fit for a night, though. Some sort of steak night.
Like the one that attacked you?
Yes. Also, I believe it makes sense that this could be a potion ingredient because it is the cornea from a demon that is mostly eyeball and also a demon that is known for having magic powers that emanate from its eyeball. So this is definitely a magic-rich cornea material. But yes, I enjoyed the steak night mistake. That was funny. So for anybody wondering what we're talking about, the other night we were talking about I sustained this wound on the back of my finger by being ambushed by a steak knife at work.
Oops.
So you're ambushed.
And I
by
almost
steak
misspoke and called it a steak knight instead of a steak knife. And we had a giggle about that. Sorry, Kaya, what did you just say just now?
that you were ambushed by a steak knight.
Yes, exactly. I'm tempted to contact the artist that did the designs for my t-shirts and see what he would draw if I said steak knight to him.
How much does that artist usually charge for that shit?
I offered him 50% of sales profit up until what was it? Up until I think it was $500. Until that amount reached $500, then after that it would be 20%. Mind you, I haven't sold nearly enough shirts for that to matter yet, but. And by not nearly enough, I mean to anybody except for myself and then the mugs and stickers from you. But
I need to get some
someday
shirts,
maybe.
But have you updated your shirts to include those really cute, like the knotted T designs and shit?
Every design on my store, I just clicked on every product for everything. So everything that Spreadshirt offers should be available on.
Did you know that if they update their product lineup, your list doesn't?
That technically I did not know that, but that absolutely makes sense. So I should probably go back and reapply everything to it again.
Because there's a couple of your designs that I'd really like, but I'm looking for things that are a little bit more cute these days.
I'll do that later on, if you remind me after stream. Also, I don't know, like maybe sometimes they run out of things and they're not available or something. I don't know. But yes, I have not updated it to make sure that new stuff's there, so I'll check that out.
I mean, a knotted T with the glass of beard or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, a short drink of beard.
Absolutely hilarious. The short drink of beard.
Yeah. Also, I think it might go along well with the what was it? Glass of estrogen.
Yes.
I'm missing a snow Kai.
Yeah.
Short drink of beard, Ray. Yes.
Beard.
It's something Kai drew for me because I decided that I am not a tall drink of glass or a tall drink of glass.
A tall glass of water, Kren.
I am not a
glass of
yes.
Water.
I am not a tall glass of water because I am not tall. So therefore, instead, I am a short drink of beard. Hold on, let me see if I can bring up the design. Google can't find it, so I'm gonna have to just go to Spreadshirt directly.
This next thing, we get a month, and we get a random Fantasia. Yeah. You can't sell those on the market board. You can't buy them from the Mog Station. But it literally lets you change your entire appearance. Like, instantly. Well, you have to remove your gear, log out. When you log back in, you can change your appearance, but yeah.
Alright, here. I can't find a quick version of a t-shirt with it here, but for some reason when I searched for it, it only came up with the face mask version. But here's the face mask version. Imagine that on a mug or a t-shirt. Although if you ever get a mug from Spreadshirt, be careful which one you get. The one I got was kind of small. But I haven't checked out all of the versions. Anyway.
I hate that it will not let me very easily go to your shop.
The site design is a little weird.
Because I click that link, and because it asks me where I am, and I tell it where I am, it's like,
Did it read?
But you can't be here because this Canadian version, so we'll send you to the homepage instead of the fucking shop.
Yeah, the redirect goes to the main page instead. That's annoying.
Hopefully I can just switch CA to COM and call that good. Yes, I can.
Okay.
So, for ease of use, there's that one. You don't actually have that on any other shirts, it doesn't look like.
Maybe it did something wonky. I probably just need to go double check what products my designs are on anyway. I'll fix that up tonight. Alright, let's see. Is this... Oh, that is a lot better than what I've got now. Dark light. I don't know what a dark light is, but it's a cool name.
Most of the like earrings and stuff like that are kind of would just be like glamours for me because my what I have on mine is going to pretty much carry me through like the end of Endwalker pretty much.
Mm-hmm. How did you get that on you at this level? Or are you talking about using it as a glamour?
The Menfina's earring there.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, it was because I pre-ordered Endwalker before.
Is it a
And
glamour you're using, or?
Nope, it is an item, an earring, a single earring, but it
So does it adjust its stats based on what level you are?
it gives an XP boost pretty much if you're under
Oh.
level 90, so it's going to literally last me the entire.
How much?
I don't know. Let me see here right fast.
Oh, look, it's a vat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Menfina's earring increases the XP earned by 30%.
30%, wow.
And below.
Again, I'm just looking at the stats of it now.
Yep.
Attributes and item level vary according to class, job, and current level. Okay, so it does adjust itself to your level as well. That's interesting. So it's a good item to use. And hold it, wait a minute. Okay, it's giving you plus 78 dexterity now, or that's just what it goes up to? So that can't be what you're getting right now. At this level. Maybe that's the maximum amount it potentially can give you. Like if you were level 80, you would be getting that. Because my earring is giving me plus 10 to my stats. There's no way it's giving you 80. That's got to be the maximum.
Dexterity 78.
I mean, that's what it says on the thing, but...
Dexterity 78, direct hit rate 79.
Out of curiosity,
80.
What is your current dexterity score total right now?
Current dexterity is 414.
Okay, yeah, so that must be adjusting down. It's not giving you 78 right now, because my mind stat, which is my main stat, is 399. That's only 15 different from what you've got, rather than being like 70 points different. So that, yeah, I think those numbers it's quoting are what they will be when you're level 80. And it's proportionately scaling them down right now. Until then. I'm guessing. Because otherwise you'd have like 460 or something around that.
But no, the button that I pushed, I thought it would be funny if I made my character run away really quickly and then just suddenly, oh look, it's a that.
Yeah. Okay. Let us mount up, because this entrance here was the last dungeon we did. It's not the next one. I like how you blow your horn to summon a broom. That's funny. Ah! Run away! Don't drill me!
Oh my.
I do not consent. I mean, this guy's trying to check my butthole. Sounds like he's now trying to check Snowcat's butthole.
I anchored some things.
Quite the treat, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That sudden realization of, wait, what'd you say?
Lord.
Lord. Alright, it's time to go spank the remaining evil Power Rangers. 2 down, 2 to go.
Nero, we're coming for your ass.
Fucking guy. He's so annoying.
He is.
Alright. Are we ready?
Well, I suppose.
Yep.
Alright.
Oh, that was
Kai,
fast.
remember throughout the main storyline when we're dealing with the Asians and stuff like that, sometimes there's been a guy in red power armor spying on us and taking measurements?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna kill
That's
him today.
Nero.
We're gonna
That's
smack him
Nero.
around. That's Nero. We're gonna kick his ass.
Yeah.
Also, he really doesn't like Sid.
Okay,
Because he's jealous.
Krend, you and I both know they're butt buddies.
Yes, but they're very angry butt buddies, though. It's a hate fuck situation.
Oh, we're paired with
Oh.
Bunny.
A bunny in a metal bikini.
Okay, then.
The Viera do not have tails. Pity.
Unfortunately. That would have been extra cute.
Oh, they're also a bard.
Yeah, but not as stylish as yours. Nice ears, though.
Yeah. Are they?
Black and red.
Yep.
I like it.
Are they?
Oh, white. And they're gone.
Ah!
Yes, replenish ranks. Lost her already.
Oh well.
I don't know why that just happened. But okay.
There we go. Let's see.
Maddie Caddy. That's a good name.
Where is ya?
Alright, we get a black mage instead. Oh, and an aura.
Oh, that's
Get
cute.
another Durg.
That's cute.
Alright. Friendly reminder for
Oh,
Kai,
that's-
don't forget your Defiance.
That is a super cute outfit. I love the glasses. That is like super cute. Okay. We had our fourth bounce.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we are ready.
I'll take that as a yes.
Meow.
Yeah. Maddie was just being a little confused at why she didn't get a cutscene.
No worries.
Let's go.
Ground pounce! Pounce! Scholar pounce! I just find it very funny that my AoE is a ground punch, but it's so fitting because I'm a Rogadin.
There we go. Yep. Over here.
Yes.
Jesus fuck.
What?
Ah.
Yeet.
Oh, they used one of their abilities. It can literally pull them to their ley lines, which gives
Oh,
them
yeah.
a bit of a boost.
I
Which
haven't leveled Black
can
Mage
eat
that high. I don't know what they do.
Ley lines give a boost, and the one ability they literally pulls you back to your ley lines if within a certain distance.
I know a few classes have a zoom forward ability, but I don't know about how the wayline thing works. I haven't seen that.
Sand and fire, DPS fire. Okay, sorry. That's how you play Black Mage. Sand and fire, DPS fire. No, don't actually do that. That is terrible advice. Do not actually do that.
Or as I call it, the seesaw class, because they're constantly going back and forth between two of their spells.
Fire, ice.
Fire, ice, fire, ice, fire, ice.
Thunder!
Fire, 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 ice, ice, ice. Fire, 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 ice, ice, ice.
Thunder,
And a thunder in now and again. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Ah. Oh, also I gotta use that.
Yep.
I should probably move that down. Oh.
Whoop.
Mhm.
Kaboom. Okay. This way. This way. Sorry, I am most excited.
Should be a fun day. What?
And before this was actually like kind of boring and everything before, because it's like, okay, did this so many times, and like, yes, it's supposed to be this big fight, but done it so many times, so it's just like, it's boring again. And now it's like, oh, it's actually a fight again, yay!
They certainly spiced it up with the random artillery strikes as well.
Yeah.
They don't do a ton of damage, but they still exist.
Obnoxious.
You can't just face tank 10 of them in a row or anything. Oh. Didn't realize this one was still alive.
I don't know which one you're talking about. That one's dead.
I
I do like the fact that I do like the fact that that status changed while I was in the process of saying the sentence.
There we go. Okay, run up here. We get cutscened. Then we fight a thing.
Cutscened upon. And then you should probably eat food if you have any left as soon as the cutscene's over.
Eh. It's good.
Whoa, Gesundheit.
Sorry, that snuck up on me.
Apparently it snuck up on Discord as well because it allowed the first half of the sneeze through before it noise gated it out.
What? It's Gaius and his little disco balls.
Mm-hmm. It concerns your father. I just came to abhor his part in Meteor.
Midas, whatever title he had, Garland.
That's his dad, I think, right?
Yeah. Said so in the thing, Midas.
Yep. Most of his regrets in life concerned you. Realize that while you had a talent for devising armaments, it would never fulfill you. Long before you knew your own mind, he saw that you'd be far happier using your knowledge for peaceful purposes. The thought touched him. But he could not let it show. I like how I'm looking like such a military douchebag while standing next to him while talking about inventing things for peace. I want you at my side, Sid. Take up your father's mantle and become the Emperor and the Empire's chief engineer. No, fuck you. You're not my real dad. Together we could bring order to Eorzea. Yeah, conquering the continent is not the same thing as bringing order to it. At least not in a good way. God, that helmet, though. I cannot take him seriously.
I mean, fair?
Nero's got armor that I can take more seriously, but I can't take his personality seriously. Or that sword. I can't take that sword very seriously either.
Oh, the gunblade?
No, this Magitech armor guy.
Thought you were talking
The
about
gunblade's pretty
gunblade.
cool.
It's like, dude, hey!
The gunblade is cool.
It's wizard time, motherfucker!
Yeah. Yes, it is. Alright, eat your food if you have any.
Nope.
Oh, Maddie's thanking you for something. I don't know what, though.
Shall we?
We shall.
Yep. Okay. Mechanics. There are some, but that is me.
As far as I remember, this guy's mechanics are pretty self-explanatory as we encounter them.
Wide. Oh, party wide. Okay. There. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of these.
Yeah, I think his mechanics are all stuff we've seen before. Nero has at least one mechanic we have not seen before, though. But we can worry about that when we reach him. And it's a pretty simple one. He's the first one that throws the magic AoE arrows around the place.
Fucking Nero. Don't stack.
Yeah, he's a dick. Although to be fair, he is a dick with charisma, but he's still a dick.
He's a dick with a purpose.
He's not quite a handsome Jack, but He's maybe half of a handsome Jack.
Someone in one of the old runs I did
Yeah.
pointed out. Yeah, they're very good. They're very good at making really cool male characters, but they kind of didn't give Nero an ass. I'm like, why are you even looking there?
Because he's a charismatic fella, that's why.
Like, why are you looking at?
But he's also a jerk.
I don't even want to know.
Some men just don't have butts. It's not their fault. He just needs to, you know, get out there and do some more walks every day.
There we go.
You know, develop more of a butt.
No. And now we run over here.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
So Kai, you know those big orange danger puddles we know so well, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is gonna be fun, by the way. You recognize this Magitech armor graffiti, by the way?
Yes.
This is our Maggie. Because remember how we had to ditch it when we were running away from the Castrum sentry? They got it back. Now we have it back. Yay!
We now get to cause chaos.
Also, your hotbar's different now.
Slightly, yeah.
The next few minutes is gonna be a fucking cakewalk.
Yep.
Anyways, so we've encountered a lot of bosses that will do point blank danger puddle around them. Nero is gonna have a new version of one, which is gonna be a mechanic from now on many bosses. But you're gonna see he's gonna do a danger puddle that has arrows pointing outwards from himself. This means that not only is it a danger puddle, but it will also push you back in the direction of the arrows, which is just away from himself. Whenever you see one of those, get as close to the source of it as possible, and you'll take less damage. Also, there's going to be an electrified field around the outside of his boss arena, and you don't want to let the danger puddle push you out into the electricity, so that's another reason to get close to him. But generally speaking, if a danger puddle has outward-facing arrows, get close to the source to take less damage. Easy stuff. Because it'll be a big danger puddle that you can't get out of, is my point. It's going to take up the whole room, you can't get out of it, but you can minimize your damage. That'll be a recurring thing from now on, but he's the first one that does it.
And now we use...
And I think this thing is one of the first times we see the word Cermet, but it's a special alloy that Garleans can make that's really strong. Not as strong as 4 Magitech armors, though.
True.
Which he just said there, so I guess I didn't need to bother saying that. Armor's cores like to expire from the strain. No, Maggie!
I know.
Don't mind the warning lights. Pew!
Kaboom.
I'm sorry, Maggie.
She did well, though.
What a good girl.
The best Magitech.
It's kind of fun sometimes when they give you, like, a super vehicle to play with in a dungeon for a little while. Just so you can be overpowered for a few minutes.
There we go. Ability I have. Now we can Neum.
Oh yes, Peloton.
Neum!
Bards have good neumes. Oh, I think this is gonna be Nero. I see boss room purple lights. You always know it's a boss when there's a purple glowy threshold.
And then
See, this
there's
guy's-
this asshole.
Yeah. This guy's helmet is a little bit extra, but not as bad as Gaius's.
That's because Nero
It's
is
respectably extra.
Nero is extra.
The person is extra, but his helmet doesn't need to be. And now he and Sid are going to flirt over the radio for a bit. Seem the Savage Land agrees with you. I hope you can read fast. Oh, do you intend to keep all the glory for yourself? Nero's really butthurt about not getting enough glory. You've been condemned to live in your shadow, even when you're not even there.
It's like, why do you not call me anymore, damn it?
I was more talented, but you had a more privileged birth, so you got all the credit. Wah, wah, wah. After you defected, your legend grew even more. I'm so jealous.
Right. What
I
a little
mean-
pissant.
Honestly, if I was the second best and second most famous engineer in my country, I'd be pretty fucking happy with that.
Like, that's still second best.
Also, it's the best one that's still there. You know?
And what Nero is lacking that Sid has that kind of probably helped is Sid is always curious about everything.
Mm-hmm. Whereas
Like,
Nero just assumes he already knows the answers.
yep. Sid
Arrogant
is just
motherfucker.
like, oh, this thing. How does it work? What can I do with this?
Mm-hmm. That's why he's the best. Because he still wants to learn.
Yep. Sid knows he doesn't know everything, and
Mm-hmm.
and just wants to just make.
What's the phrase? The first step to wisdom is acknowledging that you don't know everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big fucking hammer.
Still really want that.
With a meat tenderizer on the end. That's a mean fucking hammer. Jesus Christ.
And this is his beating stick.
That is fucking terrifying. That thing should pulp us in one hit, realistically.
Right.
Thankfully, it's an RPG and it doesn't work that way. You know what? Ooh.
Boop.
Oh.
Stuck on me.
Stack up.
Oof. I'm good. I'm good. Say that. Nero, you bastard. Okay.
How
there.
dare.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Out, 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 out. Trying to get rid of that. And
It's
got
gone.
it.
Thankfully, I got very far away from it and was able to let my dot chew away on it for a while.
That I was also attacking it.
That also helps. All right, here's the thing. Get him close.
Getting close. Close, 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 close.
There we go.
Okay. Stacking. Out. Okay. Gotta deal with this booger now. Out.
Oh. Narrative puddle. There we go. If I remember correctly, that one hurts like a son of a bitch if it hits you.
It can, yes.
That's why it has
I've-
such a long cast time.
I haven't been hit by it, so
I have. It's really bad.
I try to stay high. Stack on Kryn. That's... Because with that one, he just kind of slings you all over the place.
Yay, piece of cake.
And there we go.
Down, dumb, dumb.
So yeah,
Smack. Bad squishy.
so now we have one more boss mechanic added to the roster. The big pushy. Ooh, our mage has a cool staff.
I'm
Just
trying
noticed.
to remember which one that is. That looks like Byaku. But I could be wrong. I'll look when we get out of this. Sorry, I had coffee in my face.
That's a pretty good place for
Sounds like a
coffee.
good thing.
Yes, and today there's actually soy milk to put in it this time. Yesterday I went without coffee because meh.
I do that most
basically
days.
went without coffee. It made me ill.
I actually did have one today, but most days I don't. But yeah, I don't know if you guys caught that from the dialogue, but we did not actually kill Nero. He fled.
Figures.
Bastard. It does figure.
Oh no.
Alright, now we're going underground where we might not have Link Pearl access anymore for our voices in our head. I like to think that we're just... The Link Pearl is just like literally a pearl that has been enchanted for communication, so we just got a pearl in our
Which
ear.
direction are we going?
This way.
This way.
Okay.
Woo.
Remember, of the four of us, I've never been here before.
Yep. And over here. There we go.
In this case, only one of us has to boop it, unlike the last
True,
bench
but-
terminal.
So, and now
But
we
yeah,
get
just to tour guide a little bit, yes.
the facial expressions on my Ultima with this part, just like.
Mhm. On my
super
screen, you're
expression-
watching me talk to Sid on my Link Pearl.
Yeah.
And looking impatient. I wonder who's watching you on your screen.
Your character is, but also I see Kai's looking as well,
Yeah.
and that person.
Yeah, now
other
we're all
person.
here.
Yep.
But at first, it was just the two of us zoomed in more. Too bloody useful.
Yeah.
Pardon me, I am British.
They get better. They got
Oh,
over it.
I mean, I wouldn't say they get over it. They continue to be quite British. But the voice acting gets better. It's still okay now, though.
Let's see.
Time for the
you
villain
can't see
monologue.
you can't see my character's expression because of the damn hat.
I can't anyway because it's showing me my character. And I'm Engie.
Just to confuse the for whom do you fight? My Lollapel literally did the whole like, huh?
Listen to the villain monologuing as if his own nation is not also built on deceit and deception. This guy has drank a lot of Kool-Aid. Louis Suave did that.
They will answer, so long as you lavish them with crystals and gorge them on ether. Your gods are no different from those of the beasts. Icons, every one. Except for this, and you will see how Eorzea's faith is bleeding the land dry.
There's actually a sweatshirt on Etsy where someone actually took this whole entire speech and put it on it.
So it must cover the whole shirt.
Like the whole freaking like chest area, but it's just like, dude, that's some dedication right there.
That's funny.
The answer? Your masters lack the strength to do otherwise. For the world of man to mean anything, man must own.
It'd be funny if somebody from Squeenix bought the shirt.
To this end, he hath fought ever to raise himself through conflict,
I mean,
grow rich through conquest.
I want the person who wrote this scene to buy and wear that shirt publicly.
so you know where you can
Hold on.
you can have like you can have like some like celebrity or something read something or say something or whatever, one of those things.
Yeah.
Someone actually got the what's his name? The guy that voiced Iago.
Godfrey.
Got him to Gilbert Godfrey to say as much of this as he felt like.
Nice.
That was it was so silly. But yeah, I said a few lines and just like I hope that
Hold on.
worked for you. It's like
Okay,
I
okay.
hope that was sorry.
Cameo. It's called Cameo.
Yes. Oh shit, get around behind that.
Get out of the thing. There we go.
You said get behind that, and I already was.
I wasn't.
So I moved in front of it.
Oops.
Oh no.
Okay, please.
Oh no!
Just stay out of their... There. Stay out of the range there. Buster.
Cuddle pile.
Queen. Cuddle puddle. Cuddle puddle! It's gonna do
Dude.
that. It's a cuddle puddle. But you have to hug very close. Okay. Wait, where? Okay, there. Okay.
What? Ah! Ah!
Yep. There we go. Okay, these. Okay. Yes. There's fine. Cuddle puddle. Not cuddle puddle.
I'm trying to. I got blinded by the light. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's partially my fault, my big dome.
Hi. Okay. Yep.
That is a reference to the size of my spell AoE and also the fact that I am bald.
There, don't stack of those.
Speaking of which, dome.
Woo! Okay.
Where'd he go? There he is.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
I got those.
Between the X's. Oh,
All good. Cuddle puddle. Okay. Now he's gonna drop. Yep. These four. Just pick one. I guess this one here.
yep. Let's all stack up on focus fire on one of them. Kill them. We gotta kill these guys as fast as we can. Because they are charging up his blade energy, and if his blade energy gets to full, we all die.
Gonna suck.
It won't
Good.
though. We'll prevent it. Yeah. There's very little warning on that one.
This one's gonna smart a little bit.
We got this. Oh,
Okay. There. Oh. Do you have your heals? Yeah. Heals. Whee!
Jesus fuck.
mm-hmm.
And now.
I literally lost all visibility there for a second. Thanks for the flashbang, Squeaks.
Yeah.
Got the
Some of these fights get very animu.
had the black mage there using the limit break there at the end. That's what that
time
bubble
for it.
was. Well, not bubble, but the circle there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if his bar had charged up to 100%, that would have been an automatic team wipe. But they give you time to prevent that, so. You lack the resolve to be a proper pushy asshole like me. Gotta love those elevator rides that are perfectly engineered to last exactly as long as the boss fight takes, and then they arrive.
Yep.
Alright, that's the dungeon done, and now we have a trial to do. Which is the Ultima weapon fight. Oops, I should give her a commendation, because she's the only one I'm allowed to give it to.
Let's see here. What is that?
I like her.
I was right. It was Bianca's.
I like her portrait being a thoughtful face.
best one you can get from Biako. Yep.
Oh, look, it's a vat.
Perfect. Perfect time for that. Wait, did he change into pure gold version of his armor?
Yes. He raided the Mog Station.
He ran out of the room and had just enough time to change his armor before coming back.
Yep.
It's like,
Actually,
hold on, I gotta load up Mog Station real quick, AFK. BRB.
we fought him before. Like, just as we fought him, he was, gold. He had to get his glamours on.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's black in the original cutscenes and then suddenly gold.
Yep, suddenly gold.
Alright.
He wanted to look extra special.
He looks fancy.
Right.
Okay, I think we're in an instant spot where we can't
Party
see
of
each
other
other.
players, or
Yeah, I think I need to initiate it because I'm the party leader.
Yep.
I think it makes me do it. Yeah, it'll be other players. We can't put an NPC in because you can only do that when you're solo. I kind of wish we could do that. Have our fourth party member be an NPC, but I don't think we can. You know what? I just want to see what it says if I try it. Well, it gives me the thing, but it shows all three of them. So yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. Clear selection so we don't accidentally repeat the last dungeon. Okay. Dekumana. Alright, this thing that just raffle stomped 3 primals at once. We can take it, right?
sure. That's how that works.
No, fan the land.
Bear witness to the true power of the Ultima weapon.
I like how his head is like a cobra, kind of.
Let's see here. That's a look.
It's like a dragon
Our,
and a cobra and a robot made love together.
Our DPS.
Oh,
Our other DPS.
hey,
That's a look.
A blindfolded
it.
gunner? Yeah.
Oh.
Ready?
And she's in a rave. That's definitely a good rave outfit.
I have that on me.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. My Defiance got shut off.
Oh.
I did not expect that to happen between those rooms.
It's because we're not in the same dungeon anymore. We're in a new thing. That's why.
That's just silly.
So it technically redid the level sync. Remember, get away from the woobs.
The what?
That's what it's called now. Woobs.
The
I don't know. Woob, woob, woob.
That's weirdly unhelpful.
I don't know the actual name for it. The purple ring thingies. It goes whoop, whoop, whoop.
I'll tank it.
Oh,
Just fucking face tank the whole thing.
Yeah.
Keep me alive. We're going
So
hot.
It'll soon become apparent that he's basically throwing around the attacks that he absorbed from the primals at us.
Oh yeah, I picked up on that.
Yeah. Oop.
That
Where is
I will
everybody?
not face tank. I know better than that. That looks different.
Mm-hmm. Plus, that one
If it
probably
look-
does more damage.
It looks like everything else I've seen.
Oh.
The fuck is this?
Oh, this is
Don't worry.
this is some GM plot train horseshit, is what this is.
Yeah.
Just ride it
Don't
out.
worry.
Ah,
Yep.
Mama
Fine.
Heidelin will protect us.
We are fine.
Thou wouldst triumph, thou must look to the light. I like how our cooldowns get to tick by while we're waiting, though. That's nice.
And Titan just kind of becomes liquid there, I guess.
Well, she basically neutralized his ability to use Titan's stuff anymore.
So
Yeah.
no Titan for you. Oh shit.
Just stay outside of the swirlies. Or
Yep.
inside of this swirlies when it comes up. It hasn't happened yet. He's gonna do a thing where he makes a storm.
Yep.
We just gotta stay
Thank
inside
you.
the storm.
Oh.
Eye of the storm, as they
Okay.
call it. Uh-oh.
Okay. It's fine.
I was too
We
slow.
are fine. We are fine. Okay, where? Over here.
Yeah, other side.
Other side.
Yeah.
no.
All good.
Oh, really? No, nope. I caught it. Tail end of it, but
That's
There's-
okay.
I find that there's like a 1 second delay on things. Like you can look like you got out of it, but if it was only by like 1 second, then it still gets you. Which is a little annoying, but oh well.
Where? Behind.
Oh, you made it on that one.
Yeet. Probably behind. Oh, nope, over here to the left. Okay.
All right, that was a bad place for me to put that.
Oh, good. Back. Oh,
This is another one we
it's
can't
okay.
dodge.
It's okay.
More GM bullshit. And then we get our own GM bullshit to protect us from it.
Yep. We're good. Yay. Not spin for icon power yet. Of course, you saved the weakest one for last. Okay. Have these just... Yeah, we're fine.
Have some regen.
Get out of those, though.
Ow.
I was right where I couldn't get away from it either way.
All good. Okay.
Yeah, happens.
hug
Remember,
butt.
sticking close for these.
Ow.
Oh.
All good.
I suddenly understand why.
Yep.
Somebody do a limit break. Somebody damagey do a limit break. In other words, no. Because the other person can't hear me. Or GM horseshit. Hey, we get some free shots. So he's not
Yep.
attacking us other than doing his bullshit. How are you doing this? We bribed the GM, that's how.
something like that.
Mhm.
Speaking of GME stuff, Krendar.
Oh,
Oh, hold on.
Oh, good.
yes.
But the Ultima weapon is
Wait.
all-powerful. Why does my enemy still stand? Can his strength truly be so great?
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
God damn it, Labrea.
Your foe acts under the protection of the crystal he bears.
So, this is what empowers him.
Beyond mortal limits. If
Damn
you
it,
are
Snow.
to fail, the hammer of darkness must needs be brought to bear upon the shield of light. And so it shall, for the Ultima weapon is host to a power of which you are as yet ignorant.
Speak plainly, Asian.
They don't like to.
Yeah, speak plainly, asshole.
Heart. It is the weapon's core, an enigma whose surface even the vaunted scholars of ancient Allen
Oh, yes,
failed
that's thing,
to
that's it.
scratch.
Again.
The magic within has lain dormant for eons.
Of what magic do you speak?
A spell without parallel. Ultima. I sought the life force of the primals for no other reason but to quicken the core. For the true power of the Ultima weapon lies within its now beating heart.
Lahabrea, what have you done?
No more is necessary.
He's totally flexing his
for my god
powers.
to be
Mhm.
reborn.
Damn you, Asian.
The hour is at hand. Behold but a sliver of my god's power.
Wait, so you're trying to tell me Ultima weapon can cast Ultima? Who would have possibly seen that coming?
From the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, the world shall tremble. Unleash!
My heart shall shine like Captain Planet. I like how we got that shield up just in time, eh?
Yeah.
And still, only a fraction of the power as the spell that Donald Duck cast.
Right? He really is the ultimate black mage.
Actually, we discovered that he wasn't.
Oh.
He's something else.
Yeet.
We'll need to expand on that later.
Devastation.
Yes.
This was not my intention.
God damn it, Lala Bread.
Intention, much destruction. Wow.
It seems that keeping your champion alive has exhausted what strength you had left. Van Belsar, your enemy's shield is broken. The rest I leave to you.
We will speak later, Asian.
Asian.
I mean, the shield's gone, but look at the damage.
I
Yeah.
know.
The question of who is mightier remains.
Like, what did it cost?
Come,
Well, it's
adventurer.
apparently all of Heidelin's ability to protect us is what it cost. According to the dialogue. Alright, round 2.
Yep.
A lot of weird bullshit happens in this one. Oh, also eat food again, because it probably ran
If I
out.
have
Mine did.
any... I don't have any. Sorry.
It's
Ready?
good. Ready. Oh, sometimes he'll charge up a thing that shoots in front of him. So be careful, you'll sometimes need to move away from in front of him.
Yeah.
I think that was it right there, actually.
Yep.
Ooks is nearly down.
Yeah.
Gaze upon true power.
I don't know what these actually do. I don't know what the mechanic is with these. But we seem to have been okay.
I'm actually not sure.
Pedal pile.
Back on Kren. Cuddle puddle. Cuddle puddle.
Of course, he has to do that after my dome
Did I
is
lie?
worn off. Yes. Sometimes they won't give you a danger puddle if it's really obvious in other ways, like that charging
those.
thing.
Bold of them to assume what is obvious and what isn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of those.
Uh-oh. I had to go through
can
that
have
to get out of it.
All good.
Giant shiny chargy thing on front of end boss means big laser.
Yeah, it's not in my view.
Yeah, that's true. We'll tell you when to get out of the way then. Middle.
Okay.
Go to the middle.
Here. Go.
Okay, in front.
out of that.
Big laser. Or should I say not in front?
Okay.
That was
we're
probably
here.
confusing.
Out of those.
Yeesh. Yeah.
Hug the grid.
I'll get healer.
Okay, where are you going? Let's
Trying to remember to keep my defenses up.
all good.
Yeah.
There's kind of a lot to focus on.
There are a lot fucking going on. And every time I get flashbanged,
fuck.
I lose where everything is.
Yeah.
The big laser. Ah. Big puddles. It's middle.
Not cuddle puddle.
Anti-puddle.
Or you can, just not with me.
True. That takes some fun out of it, though.
Oh, for some that might be a benefit.
Nah. That doesn't make any sense. Middle. He keeps doing that, like...
And then clear.
Oops. Fuck. I accidentally removed the dome from my hotbar. Fuck.
There we go. Oopsies.
I've done that a couple times.
Okay, there.
Hate it when I accidentally do that.
Little puddle in the middle. There. Got it back.
And out of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and out of that.
Yeah, get out of front. Move it. Big laser. Ah.
Okay.
You got lasered.
That was worth it just
Middle.
to see what
Middle.
that was.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got you. I got you.
Okay. Heck, we're down to.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
I'll
that.
res her when I can. Ah, fuck. I just finished casting the heal, too. Alright.
Don't worry.
Resing,
Don't worry.
resing snow.
Yep.
Oh, right when we need all the DPS we can muster, too.
I'm
Going.
focusing as much as I can.
Okay, DPS him as hard as you can. And snow LB now. This is what we call a DPS race right now. We have to kill him before he finishes charging his bar, or we die. If anybody has any damage buffs for the team, use them now.
Let him please go. Okay. Going. Yeet. Fuck.
Might not make
Might
it.
not. We're not gonna do. Axe.
So close. It's just because
Shit.
two. That's because when he started doing it, both DPSs were dead.
Okay. We got this though.
As long as everybody is standing when he starts doing that, we should be okay. Oh.
Oh wait. Fuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on Krendar.
Please no.
Stuck on Krendar. Demolish the healer. No kidding.
Everybody would die in that case.
You need heals? Oh my gosh.
Yes. He kept making me move and canceling my heals. Oh shit. Forgot to resummon my pet. That's a problem. Okay. There we go. Fellow puddle.
Puddle. Get out of that!
Big laser. Oh shit, I was at the edge of it. I didn't think I was.
Oh good. Okay, where?
I literally ran between his legs to avoid it. I can't get away from it sideways, but I'll get away from it through the middle.
That's very Wind Waker of you. I remember having to do that with Ganon.
Hug butt. For that one. Just, yeah. Okay, where?
Grundle zone it.
One person I ran it with
Middle.
said hug the taint. I'm like, please don't.
I mean, Hug the Taint is just a different way of saying Grundle Zone, right? I like that effort
Yay.
noise.
Me?
Remember, it's okay if those circles touch each other as long as the circles don't touch the actual player inside of the circle. Whenever he teleports back to the middle, you know shenanigans are about to happen.
Denied. Will not take out the board, damn it.
Big laser.
Nee. Out of that.
Middle.
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 Very good.
Once you get right to the middle, you really don't take much damage there.
Yep. Trying to keep my dots on him.
Fuck.
That helps.
That tank buster hit Kai pretty hard.
Yep.
Definitely busted the tank. How rude.
Not sure,
Middle.
ladies? Yep.
Yeah.
There. Look at that.
Big laser.
Then run. Okay. Here's fine. Okay, here.
I was not avoiding that one, sadly.
All good.
Whoa.
Fuck!
Yeah.
All good.
Big laser. Ah. Middle. Middle.
Good. Okay.
Alright, DPS the fuck out of him. Anybody who's got a team buff, use your team buff.
Okay. Choose is gonna do.
Wait, no, don't LBM yet. Or do we get to double LBM?
No, but that's okay.
Oh, we do get to double. Great. Alright, LBM again. Limit break, limit break.
There we go.
That was actually
Machinist.
very smart to do that. Oh yeah, we got this for sure. He's already where he was when we died, and we've got time.
Oh.
I like the way you abuse
There we go.
I like the way you abuse the automatic fill up of LB3, like
Yep.
using it right beforehand. Ugh. That's not how I would have spelled that type of pain groan, but okay.
Hey, his gold came off.
It did.
Oh my gosh, it's a Gaius.
He must have
Congrats.
just
Congrats.
He must have-
boy.
he must have spray painted the gold onto his armor and it got knocked off.
An impact.
Burned away.
I don't have it on this character, but
Hold on. Hold on. Save it for after.
Unless a man of power wrests control, the cycle will never be broken. You of all people must see the truth in this. You who have the strength to rule.
Kerplooey. Okay, you were saying?
Okay. Where is? There he is. Well, you can't do the emote right now, but you can literally the like squats or whatever that you see some of the NPCs doing or whatever. You can actually do it, and I've seen several people
Teabagging
come
him?
over to him and just like teabagging the shit out of guys. I was like, yep.
There we go.
That's even better. Just
All right,
butt
Kai.
on face.
All right, Kai. We have one more fight to do, but this one's going to be single scenario, and then we have beaten A Realm Reborn. I think we should take a break first, though. But we can exit the thingy.
There we go.
I don't remember if we get a cutscene again or not.
Okay.
I think we
I'll
get
stop.
something. Kind of like the Rogan and just going flump down on the guy's face.
Just splash.
Oh, Lala Bread's back.
Lala bread. I actually saw a.
Hold on.
Power. You were entrusted with the ultimate weapon, the ultimate magic. And still, you failed. So much for the glory of man. The growing imbalance afflicting the planet must be redressed. If it is permitted to worsen, the very laws of existence, both etheric and physical, will be warped beyond all recognition. Know you the root of this corruption? Hydaelyn. Like a parasite, she must be burned out if the planet is to recover.
Oh shit.
And not but the return of the one true God will ensure her complete
This is
excision.
I believe, solo. Wait.
Yet, to pave the way for the Master's return, a chaotic confluence of untold proportions must needs be brought about. And that will necessitate the presence of the primals. Needless to say, both you and your scion accomplices cannot be suffered to interfere in this endeavor. You will not leave this place alive.
Alright, slow your roll there, edgelord. Okay, don't talk to him yet.
Okay.
Is
Not
everybody out of the
talking to
cutscene?
I
Yep.
am. Yep.
Okay, this would be a good time for a break because we have to. We're gonna have to split the team and do a scenario where we 1v1 Lala Bread over here.
Yep.
We might want to have our break first.
Yep. I've actually seen a few little player characters. They've made little Lalafell versions of La Habrea,
Of him.
and
That's funny.
it's just so cute. Actually, there's actually an FC that does like all Lalafells, and it's like chibi versions of the
Nice.
Scions and the Ashians, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's so cute.
That is cute. Also, I just want to say, Nibiru Aster, thank you for the follow 8 minutes ago. We're gonna have a quick break, and then we're gonna do this fight.
Yep.
And beat the game. Or at least the original, at least the part that came before the expansions. All right, back in a wee bit.
Yep. Break time.
I almost my toe actually
Yeah. I return. I heard room noises, but now it's silent again. Where you go?
I am back.
Hello. I heard banging noises in the room a while ago, but then silence.
That was Kai probably setting something down. She wanted to show off the new thing she got today. Grabbed food. She's in the bathroom at the moment. Tonight's dinner is it's potato soup, but it's got like big chunks of potato in it.
Chunky potato soup. Sounds good.
It's actually perfect because of how cold it was. Yesterday, last night, it got in the negatives. It was cold.
Damn. I can't remember what 0 degree Fahrenheit equals in real temperatures.
I've started using my boobs as tools. It's officially happening. Femininity has taken place.
Nice. Titty are useful.
See, I can't do that.
All right, I'm back.
By the way, I feel the need to point out I was browsing DeviantArt while waiting, and I came across a artist on DeviantArt whose name is Stogie Goat Arts. And in case you're wondering, yes, his self-drawn character is a goat persona, and yes, it does have a cigar.
Nice.
Good.
Okay.
And yes, I am now watching
good.
him.
That's lovely. So I just had a rather interesting conversation conversation? That might be a tough definition to go by, but you know how I'm building that rifle?
Remind me of the details?
The one where I'm just sort of, getting parts and putting it together and shit. Purely for STEM reasons. Like, I'm not trying to build a revolution here. I just want to get into gunsmithing. It looks like fun.
You just want to build a gun because you can?
Basically, right? But I got a part for mine today, which was a bipod, which it makes it easier and more comfortable to shoot prone. And my mom asked me, what all are the things that I want to do with it. I said, well, I want to get either a flashlight or a laser for it for here. I want to get a new charging handle, a couple other things. Basically, just comfort, ease of firing stuff. Safety things, stuff like that. And she was really interested. It was only to the point where I mentioned the dust cover. That, like, something that does literally fuck all, just keeps dust out of the mechanism when it's in storage. It wasn't until that point that my mother said that she worries about me because sometimes I can be a little bit radical.
Yep.
The dust cover that I suggested that I wanted to get was a dust cover that when it's closed, it says trans rights. When it's open, it says trans fights.
That's funny.
But that was when I was called radical, and I'm a little bit uncomfortable by that choice of point to call me that.
Maybe she meant it like 80s style. You're totally radical, dude.
No, sadly not. It's pretty obvious how she meant it. It was just like, Not the point I would have chosen.
I've noticed with
Yeah.
most of y'all's conversations between the y'all, she almost seems like she's looking to try to fight.
Yeah, that,
Seems like it.
Like,
I don't think she intends it that way, but it was a little
It just
bit,
happens that way,
definitely
I guess, eh?
a little bit uncomfortable that, you know, it was when it actually got to the trans rights part of it that I became the radical on it. It's like, I don't think you know how that word works. Can't be a radical centrist.
And yet, that term gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
For some odd reason. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Anyway.
just, I think her political views are coming out a little bit, is all.
Maybe. How's the soup, by the way?
Quite good, actually.
One of these days, I'm going to make that Norwegian salt cod stew that Larson gave us the recipe to, but I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna. Sometime. Looks good. Alright, so we need to dissolve the team because we have a scenario fight. So there we go.
Yep.
It's a bit of an endurance battle to some degree. I'll give you the heads up, Kai. At one point, he's going to do one of those things where there's a building bar like what Gaius did.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be 4 fireballs that appear. You're not going to have time to destroy them all, but destroy as many as you can. You're probably going to be able to manage 2 of them.
Yep.
And then there's going to be some GM plot train bullshit that happens.
Yep. It is okay. Don't freak out.
Oh,
Cause
I'm pretty sure you survive
Yeah.
as long as you kill at least 1. Like, might as well
Yeah.
go for 2.
yep, just like wail on them.
Other than that, standard danger puddles and shit.
Yep.
Right.
Try to endure, keep yourself healed as you can, etc. Let's do it. See you on the other side.
Sounds good.
If he does kill you, choose very easy and do it again. But you'll probably
take
survive.
Yep.
Tank does pretty well at this fight.
This is much more difficult than the just don't stand in stuff and just wail on them thing.
A little bit more.
Where you have
It's
like
not too
the whole
complex
party.
though. There's just a lot of danger puddles. He likes to make you run around a lot. He doesn't want you to skip leg day.
I mean, I did this on monk, and I survived it pretty dang well. So
Yeah, Monk's pretty good. Sometimes the danger puddles are purple. If there's a lot of fireballs, try to find one gap where there's no fireball. It's hard to see sometimes, though. But there will be one spot with a very, very small safe point. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing the umbrella symbol. Watch out for zombies. I'm kidding. That did look a lot like Umbrella Corp, though. Tell me I'm wrong.
I cannot.
Oh. Fireballs again. This way. Thankfully, they give you some time, because sometimes it's hard to perceive where the spot is. Oh. Doing the arrows thing. And the arrows attack really does shit damage if you're up close. That works quite nicely. God, having my own personal healing turret is so useful for this. Yeah. Alright, here comes the bullshit on my screen. Okay, they're not fireballs, they're arcane spheres, but same thing, kill them. You actually might only kill one. I think I'm only going to kill one, but that's enough.
Yep.
And now I board the plot train.
Whee!
Which means I can just eat.
Oh,
But then we counter his plot train with our own plot train GM bullshit.
Yep.
Honestly, yeah, I don't like this sort of plot device they're doing here, but I'll explain it later. Actually, no, I guess I have time to explain it now. I don't like it when games are like, the villain is going to do something you can't possibly stop and it'll automatically kill you and there's nothing you can do about it. But then the player gets empowered and becomes unbeatable themselves and now the enemy can't do anything about it. I hate that. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
But I mean, at least it shows that your character is not like invincible sort of thing. Like, oh, they can't
It doesn't.
be touched.
Honestly, it's a little bit the opposite though, because even though we got killed, Heidelin's like, yeah, don't worry about it, bro. I got you. Now you're super strong and the enemy can't do anything about it.
Ah, Super Saiyan. I'm doing
You'll
the
defeat them
thing.
with the
We have the Chaos Emeralds.
defeat evil with the power of love and hope. So
I
tacky.
can stab you. Okay, where are
I would have preferred it if it was a mild buff, but we still managed to beat the guy normally otherwise. I think it's still possible to lose at this point, but the odds are heavily in your favor now. Oh, I need to resummon my my pet. Because I did technically die.
Where the fuck do I need to go?
I don't think there's a gap in the fireballs this time, except for the middle. Then you have to do the sort of weird timing thing. Where you stagger out AoEs. Actually, with my fairy, I don't know if it is possible for me to lose this. Because I think the Heidelin buff gives us regen, and I have a healing turret.
By the power
I could probably stand here and go make a sandwich and survive. I don't feel like testing that theory, though. Oops, wrong button. I can hear the faint little tap 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 of gamepad. That's how you know there's a lot of danger puddles. I'm hearing Snow's gamepad going dodge, 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 dodge. Oh, okay. And now there's a gap. A non-center gap, I mean. I will defeat you with the power of my thigh gap. I don't know. Oh no, explosions. Whatever will I do? That one hurt a little bit.
Ah.
Don't worry, I just lost 2/3 of my life at once. It's okay. No big deal.
That weren't too hard.
So I was thinking earlier with the joke of calling him Lala bread. It's like, I bet Lala fellas make really good bread.
Potato bread.
Yes. Popoto.
Yeet.
I want Lala breads. It sounds tasty.
Yeet. There we go.
Alright, got mine. I think Snow and I finished at almost the exact same moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fight really is much easier as a healer. Except for that one moment where I got caught in the crossfire. I look at the pretty little pink ribbons on my shoes.
Eh.
Make thee a blade of light.
Make thee a blade of light. This is why I've been collecting all these crystals. I'm gonna shoot you with my book. My book blade. Pew! Get out of my friend, bitch!
Whee!
What?
Ha 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 ha. So that's the scene.
Oh?
With the generic character taking the place of your own in the big display.
Yep.
All right.
No, I haven't seen that part yet. I think you're slightly ahead of me.
Power and love of friendship.
Hey, it's the Scions!
Okay,
That's the one.
Well, the Scions and Robon. Except it was my
There is an
character, not the... What?
Yeah,
Sorry?
there's an equivalent of that has a generic character that
like as a trailer or something?
an official, like an art piece.
Ah, I see.
Yeet.
It's like that's what that character represents, is the player character.
Just how deadpan the yells were.
we just Knights of the Rounded that guy.
Yeah.
Brooke, your dark crystal asshole.
I had a feeling you'd make a return.
What, Thancred, you mean?
Good girl.
Yeet. Maggie.
Oh, that. Yeah, that hasn't happened on my screen yet. So
I'm
Maggie's
slightly ahead
best.
of you.
yeah. So after this, we get to keep Maggie as a mount.
Yeet.
Without the working guns, but as a workable
Well,
mount.
You can
For now.
use them, they
For
just
now.
don't-
There's a quest we can do to repair her guns, but it's still just like an emote that doesn't do anything. Basically. But we have to unlock that.
It still has the effects and everything.
Yeah, but I mean you can't kill people with them, I mean.
True, but you can scare sprouts with it.
Mhm.
And so my
That's rude.
conquest
And we do have to do the quest to do that first.
in smoke.
Oh good, Gaius is still alive. Oh no, never mind. Just kablooey. Now it's time for the classic action scene, running away from explosions.
Unless you're Santa Claus.
Nope, gotta watch.
Warrior of light, beloved son. The darkness hath fled before the unclosed brilliance of thy spirit. Yet it lingereth still beyond the sight of men, in forgotten corners of the world. In the
This
depths
actress
of the
really
abyss yet resideth the
does
Dark
epic
One,
well.
watchful ever, till this evil be cast out. Never shall the world know aught but a passing peace. Yet for the present, a gentle light shineth o'er the realm of Eos.
That's a big crystal mommy.
With thee at its heart.
Yeah.
Yeet.
From sparkling moat shall it swell to glorious sun,
No pressure.
and all the world shall bask in its warmth. Blessings and joy be
No,
upon thee.
come back, damn it!
Also, I don't know if everybody noticed, but they were playing
Child, and be as a beacon of hope for
the whole time they were playing the classic Final Fantasy theme title screen music.
Yes.
It's more obvious at the end, but it was playing the whole time. I love that.
Yep.
Snow and I have talked about
noticed
this as
that.
well, but this game is very good with its subtle use of music at very appropriate moments. Sometimes very subtle, but they like to do that.
My lady, all Twin Adder units have fallen back to the outer perimeter.
The Flames have completed their withdrawal, General.
Admiral,
All hands accounted for.
We did it.
We did it.
He's still in there.
Hey, that's my phrase.
Has there been no word?
What? Get into it.
Nothing.
Papalymo just said something that I said
Damnation.
earlier when we died the first time.
He's going to
Damnation?
know he is.
Yeah, he stole my word.
Ida is right. We must have faith.
Papalymo is best tiny sass.
Will not be evacuated
Yeah,
aboard the
he is the
Enterprise.
tiny Cecil Phil.
Ah, yes, femboy Ida.
That adventurer and the are as the warriors of light reborn.
I won't.
We cannot abandon them to their fate. Not again.
I wholeheartedly agree. But flying into the midst of that.
We need to get Ida
will add to the fire.
an outfit in the trans flag colors.
Yes.
There must be something we can do.
Please, Mother Heidelin. Please light his way through the darkness.
Look into the light, my child.
That's some serious
If thou
glitching
would
around
see
rival.
thy companions
Okay.
return safe to thee, reach out to them now.
There!
Quick, look, so I can watch me jumping out of this explosion.
Oh!
Oh. Oh my.
Da-da-da-da.
Our warrior of light.
Yes! The hero
I like how you squealed that right when Papalymo was doing his little over-the-top childish cheer emote.
And Thancred draped over the back like a sack of potatoes.
Mm-hmm. And just as useful.
Welcome home.
Yeah.
Actually, no. A sack of potatoes is actually quite useful.
In battle.
Boil them, roast them, stick them in a stew. That's what you do with potatoes. Hello, Midgard Sormir.
You almost got us killed that one time, remember?
Now.
Yeah,
We both know
that's
that was
it.
your fault.
Thank the 12 we're safe.
Classic Papalymo and Ida moment.
there, man.
Yeah.
Mayhap when you mind your manners.
And now something that most MMOs never do. Roll credits.
I doubt we can say the same of La Habrea. And even if we could, we know that he is not alone. Confounded Ascians. Their god may be unknown to us, but their zeal is unquestionable. Suffice it to say, it would be folly to assume that they no longer pose a threat. Nevertheless,
Hello, this is Alphino telling you, the player, that there will be expansions to this game.
Yeah.
Please do not unsubscribe forever. We will give you more content.
Richard F. Carr's Gaius
for
Van
now we must savor what
Belsar.
peace we have won, however ephemeral.
You did a good job.
Do you
Ye-
see, grandfather? Our first step towards realizing the dream for
Kyle,
which you
her-
gave your life.
They goofed that up. It's Hebert. And
Oops.
yeah. That was a on their fault on their part. But
Oopsie.
yeah. For La Habrea.
He was pretty good at being a pompous edgelord.
It's. I mean, as voice actors go, he is an
Friends,
absolute.
the dread night of imperial tyranny
And
Naxian machination is ended.
yeah.
A new day now begins in Eorzea.
True to their name, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, along with our champion, have delivered us from darkness.
I read that is Lionel Tuna.
Let their shared memory serve to remind us of our shared history. And let their bravery in the face of adversity inspire future generations.
Now I'm picturing the guy from Thundercats, but he's holding a big fish instead of a sword.
Old rifts threaten to divide us within our walls, while hordes of beastmen claw at our gates. And though the Black Wolf be slain, the rest of the pack remains. Yet no foe need we fear, so long as we stand as one.
So long as the Scions stand for peace.
So long as our champion stands.
Now I look like I've graduated from
no
the storyline
over which we may not
in my
jointly
mortarboard hat.
No longer can we turn a blind eye to the suffering of our allies.
Gideon Emery as Ariane J.
No nation
Hell yeah,
stands
Gideon
alone.
Emery's my boy.
If one should fall, so shall we all.
Although, as Ariane J,
Eorzea is our
for
shared
now.
home. For any one of us to know peace, so too must our neighbor.
Just as we join
Sam
in
Rico is
solidarity
helping out.
before you this day, so too shall our grand companies be joined henceforth to strive not only for the good of mere nations, but for the good of all the realm.
Change will not come overnight. Yet I foresee a day, not so very far from now, when the lines that divide our lands fade, and all of Eorzea is one.
It has been but 5 short years since the Battle of Cartano. 5 years since the advent of the 7th Umbral Era.
Same dude.
No
Good.
victory, however
Voice
sweet,
for
can wash
Hutton
away our bitter
and
sorrows.
Biggs
No
in
triumph
English.
can reclaim those we lost. Yet do not presume you honor them by dwelling on the past. It was not the past they fought for. You would repay their sacrifice by looking to the future.
The future united, as the warriors of light united in the champion.
Now is the time for us to rise as one, bearing all of Eorzea on our shoulders.
5 years ago, Eorzea bore witness to the end of the 6th Astral Era. Now, the 7th Umbral Era draws to a close, yet we come together not to glory in its end, but to mark a new beginning.
Let it be writ that on this day, by the light of
That's a cool sword.
Eorzea ushered in a new era. The 7th Astral Era is come. And thus is ours a realm reborn.
Yeah, title drop. They said the thing.
They said it. They said the name.
They said the realm reborn. And they do the same thing with every expansion.
Yeah. But that's okay.
I mean, you know, it's just sort of anchoring the name of the expansion to an actual thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to skip the black screen title credits crawl because it is long. You can also skip the name.
Traditional for me not to, though.
Fair, but you're not the one showing your screen.
Fair.
All right. Also, I don't need to look at all of these Patreon names or whatever this is. It's happening in alphabetical order right now, so I'll skip that too. And this one. Still, though, if people want to see who worked in this game, I encourage you to look it up because they all did a great job.
Yes.
New cutscene.
The music people did very good too.
Oh, very good. I mean, I've got one music track from this game specifically on my playlist I listen to at work. And a few other ones from Final Fantasy IV. Oh no, I'm having a migraine.
Yeah.
Purple crystal. This is Heidelin's goth phase.
Uh-oh. No?
No, it's not.
Oh, there's Odin.
But as Yoda says, it was funny joke.
What is it?
Heidelin's gone totally goth. That's what it is. Sorry, I burped.
There's no time to spare.
Where is it coming from?
Dread tidings, chaos and carnage! It is an abomination! A primal has awakened!
Not just any old primal either. But I'll explain that later. We have to watch some edgelords first.
Cast Bahamul move.
Bahamul. Bahamut stirs.
One Azaz.
As will the others ere long. Tis not a question of whether Eorzea's champion shall yield, but of when. Is it? Is it really? And with each passing moment we draw closer to the reckoning. Their language reminds me of the Black Speech from Lord of the Rings. To the one true God. To Zodiark. Which is an interesting reference, because there's been a Zodiark optional boss fight in other Final Fantasy games. At least in Tactics. I don't remember if other ones did. But where there is light, there is always shadow. I've been meaning to ask you, Kai, as a person with dyslexia, how do you feel about the font in this game? For those things. When they do the fancy font.
It depends.
I really like it personally. I know you have trouble with things that are overly symmetrical sometimes, and it's very symmetrical.
Yeah, it can
also
depend.
I like this reference here. Remember at the very beginning of the game, we were delivered to town by a merchant in a cart, in a caravan?
Mm-hmm.
Here he is. Like once you get past the cutscene and you're in the Waking Sands, look to the right and you'll see 3 guys whose names begin with B. Mm-hmm. So, no matter which starting city you choose, you are brought to that city by an identical-looking merchant. That's because they're brothers who are triplets, identical triplets. And one of them brings you to each one of the cities. That's just in the story. I love the fact that they do that. It's like, why is it the same guy no matter which city I'm going to? It's not. That's just a fun detail, I think. Also, after this cutscene, I will explain the dragon roar thing. Fighting strongly suggests that a new primal has appeared. Roar generated a distinctive wave pattern in the ether, a pattern observed only once before in history, 5 years ago to be precise. Interesting. When the calamity happened, in other words. Okay, let me know when you're done talking to Minfilia.
Okay.
Flying unlocked.
Oh yeah, we can fly now.
Mm-hmm.
We can go
So you can ride that broom properly now.
Sounds like fun.
Alright, are you done the cutscene, Kai?
No, we hadn't. I was watching the credits, but...
Oh. Are you still in the credits then?
Yep.
Alright, so the big dragon roar thing, basically Bahamut has shown up again. There's a bunch of raids, or I guess a raid series, whatever you want to call it, because they're always in parts, dealing with going and investigating and dealing with Bahamut.
The binding coils.
Yeah, it's called the Binding Coils of Bahamut. It's not super popular. I don't know if it's totally optional. I don't know if you want to do it. I can easily summarize the story of it if you want to skip it. It's up to you, though.
Now I'm to the cutscene.
Okay. Quiet time, then.
Oh, I've had migraines like that. Holy shit.
Zoom tight.
Nah.
Edgy boots.
What?
Edgy boots.
I don't remember that part.
Edgy shoulders. Edgy face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you on the Yassian scene?
Yeah.
Edgy everything.
color is actually making it hard to read.
It's a bit brutal.
It's just all the contrast. It's making the letters bounce.
Oh.
Gabriel looks so fancy with his earrings.
Nice cutscene.
Yep.
Lots of information. Damn it.
The brothers Brennan, and Bremont.
Mm-hmm. Kai, let me know when you reach the point where Minfilia is offering you 2 different quests.
Okay, I just completed the last quest, so flying unlocked.
Yeah.
I
Basically, you have to talk to her once first. Sorry, what? Snow?
Oh.
I was having a bit of fun running back up and down the hallway having people rap because it's funny. Because I'm being a dingus.
Okay, so I have price of principles, recurring problems, small talk, nothing.
Okay. Don't remember if Snow, is recurring problem required or optional? I forget what it does. Okay, don't bother with recurring problem then. Do price of principles though.
Haru's adorable.
She is.
She is cute. Okay, tell me when you're done with her dialogue.
Working on it.
I know. Not rushing you, just want to know when.
Okay, Minfilia, you gotta understand. If you're all gonna be in this big club together, then you need to spread the load. That's not burdening somebody. That's, you know, dealing with it together. There's a difference.
Non-burdening yourself.
If you in a group like this, you have to share shit like that. That's
yeah.
This is like any club, gang, or whatever dialed to an actual physical 11, and there's real bullshit happening.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Crips pale in comparison.
There we go.
Alright. I have talked to her that once.
Alright. So exit the solar, but you're gonna have people to talk to in the main part of the clubhouse here. So yeah, so from this point, yes, at this point the story is slowly gets more and more interesting. So I like what she was talking about there. Basically, she's like, we need to take our secret society public, but we can't be beholden to anybody specific. People are trying to curry favor with us, but fuck them. We need to remain neutral.
Right.
All right. So first, okay. Actually, here's a question. There's some optional content coming up here we've referred to in the past called Beast Tribes, which is finding a sub-faction of each of the what they call the Beast Tribes. You know, like the Sahagin, the Ixal, the Amalja, the Sprite, this etc., and making friends with them. And then what the Beast Tribes will do is optional daily quests where you can do 4 quests for them each day, and you earn reputation points with them, which allow you to buy more and more interesting stuff from their personal stores.
If you get
which is all optional stuff. Like, it's not like powerful gear or anything, but you can get like neat cosmetics and things. It's up to you if you want to delve into that stuff. I would say we should at least unlock them just to check out their little stories. Do you agree? Or disagree?
Sure.
Okay. So you want to take most of these quests here. Into the Valley of the Skull, a Kobold Initiative, and Can't Do It Without You. Take those quests, as well as talking to the quest giver of talking to the people for the main quest as well. There's only one quest here
we're technically unlocked before we left out of here the last time, but wanted to save till now.
Exactly. We were saving them until later. It is now later. Also, I'm going to mend my gear. Alright, I'm going to talk to the main quest people first. I think there's one quest in here we can skip. I forget what it's called. I'll tell you in a second when I figure it out.
I think it's the blue one.
I think it is the blue one. Let's see. Be happy also recall. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. So Ishtrola is reiterating her concerns about how Linda Lemonsa has been causing shit with kobolds. Thancred. You may be interested to know there's a growing belief amongst the refugees that Alamigo could be liberated, if only the Scions would commit their strength to the cause. Yet theirs is but one of many causes. We stand at a crossroads. Each path is paved with good intentions, but where they lead is far from clear. True, true, true. We're sending a lot of gifts lately, but Papa Lebo keeps making me send them back. They're nice, but they're not quite abandon your principles nice. Yeah. The Scion's neutrality is incredibly important. Alright, Uriange.
I don't think it would necessarily be, non-neutral to accept a gift for, hey, thanks for saving the fucking world again. I don't think that's taking sides. I think that's, being gracious.
It can be, except for the fact that a lot of these gifts are coming from people who are specifically trying to curry favor as well, is the problem. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between these things, though.
I guess that would be the context and the nuance of it. If it was
exactly
just from, like, a regular citizen or something, then...
Yeah, that statement was completely out of context, but we know the greater context because of Minfilia's speech. Okay, let me double check. What's this blue thing? Primal Fear. I forget what the blue quest Primal Fear actually entails, but I know that it's optional. Is that the Odin fight? I think that's the Odin fight.
So, yeah.
Which I've never done, but it's I know the Odin fight's a pain in the ass because I believe it has to be a certain time of day and a certain weather conditions and shit like that to actually make it happen.
That's the fate. The Primal
That's the
Fear
fate.
one. This is the trial.
Oh, okay. Well, we can decide later if we want to do it or not. But let's take the side quests that are not the blue ones.
Yeah.
So Can't Do It Without You unlocks the Amalja Beast tribe. The Kobold one, obviously the Kobolds, and the Valley of the Skull one is the Sahagin. I don't think we're going to spend time grinding out daily quests every time we play, because that would just eat into our time a lot. But, Kai, I would say, if you are interested in advancing the beast tribes and checking out their stores and buying some of their stuff, feel free to log in your character on days that we're not streaming and do their daily quests on your own or with Snowcat outside of our streams, if you feel like it. You don't have to. If you feel like it, feel free to do so, though.
I could probably do something like that on stream if Snow got up at the same time I did.
Or you could do it on your streams if you want. I just don't want to do it during our streams because we don't spend a lot of time and it would eat it up. But yeah. I don't want to deprive you of checking it out either. It's side content, so it won't mess with our progress. Alright. And we should probably leave it here after we've taken these quests. By the way, Snow, do you know if the current day Coils of Bahamut is that full-sized raid or like an 8-man raid? Is that a thing?
What?
Are there 8-man raids or is it a full 24-man raid?
There are 8-man ones.
I don't remember which one this is.
Which one?
The Coils of Bahamut. I know it's not a popular one in general.
I think.
It's a 4-person?
I think. Let me double check here.
They keep changing some of these things, so I don't know. Yeah, Kai, to let you know, there is a raid coming up soon that is going to be required before we can enter the expansion. And it is a 24-man thing. So you know how we've been going in and doing dungeons in groups of 4 people?
Yeah.
Imagine doing one that's 24 people. Now,
do I have to?
The thing is, sadly you do, but here's the thing. If it makes you feel any better, it actually minimizes how noticeable your actions are because there's going to be 23 other people doing shit. You're not going to be the only tank. There will be 6 tanks. So, you don't even have to be the one main tanking the bosses, and however well you're performing, people aren't going to notice as much because there's 5 other tanks.
Okay, finding Coil of Bahamut is the first section of the Bahamut, the level 50,
Also, it's not immediate.
8-player raids in Realm Reborn. So it's 8.
It's 8.
Not
Okay.
4.
There's also going to be a few dungeons that are going to be 8 people instead of 4, but it's 4 people is still going to be the main normal thing. But once in a while there'll be an 8-person thing, in which case there's usually 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 4 DPS people. So really only one person has to be main tanking in those cases. But we don't have to do that immediately. We can put that off for a little while. So I've mentioned before that there's prologue and epilogue stuff happening. But to be more specific, something they've done, at least more so than other MMOs do, is in the time between expansions, or the main game and expansions, every few months they'll put out a big content patch where they've added more main quest line and a bunch of stuff to do. All the way up until that leads up to it. So we're going to have, I think, like 2 or 3 big content patches worth of epilogue to sort of tie up loose ends left at the end of this main story. Like the stuff Minphilly was just telling us about is going to grow into a whole thing that we're going to do for the next little while. And then eventually they'll start dropping stuff that's prologue to the expansion that sort of leads us up into the expansion. They do a really good job of fleshing out the story for that, rather than just being like, hey, here's a new place, go there now. They really build the story up to it and lead you into it. So that's going to be the next little while of what we're doing.
Cool.
That's probably... It's hard to estimate exactly. When I was playing solo, like, it took me like 3 or 4 of my days off to get through it all. So it's probably going to take us like a month or so at the rate we're going together. So it's not rushing us into the expansion. There's a bunch of stuff we'll be doing up until then. Not even including the Beast Tribe stuff, which we're going to check out a little bit. But the unlocking the Beast Tribes is short. So we'll check that out. Then they'll build us up a bunch of stuff. And when we get to the beginning of the expansion proper, a lot of people's voices are going to change. Because they changed out a lot of voice actors at that point. I think the originals just weren't available. Actually, no, I think it was, it had something to do with their contract with the voice acting guild. Not being renewable or something.
Voice actors, they have their own guild now, apparently.
They do.
There is a voice actors guild, and there's
voice actors guild. There's just a regular actors guild as well.
Mm-hmm. And I believe it had something to do with legal contracts with them, which is the reason why they couldn't get them back and they had to sign up with a new one. But for the most part, the new one's better. Like, the current voice actors we've been experiencing have been Americans putting on fake British accents. The new voice acting guild are actually British people. Although Gideon Emery is always fun. He's great. And it's not going to affect everybody in the game, but it's going to affect all of the Scions. I believe Nanamo and Robon are going to be the same people. Merlwib will change.
Ooh, that linked up on mine. That was cool.
What did, huh?
Oh, we're doting at each other outside.
Oh, nice.
Just filling
okay, hold on.
the main chat.
I'll talk to Alphino before I step outside then.
I still have to talk to Alphino again, but I wanted to come out here.
Okay.
As you had said, once we were done, I thought you had said once we took the quests there.
That's fine. I was just talking about stepping out
We
into
would
the
log
main
out.
part of the Waking Sands, not to the outside of the Waking Sands, but that's all right too.
Yeah, I just misunderstood what what you meant by get out after.
I just meant exit Minphilia's room, yeah, but that's okay. Let me see. If you haven't talked to Alphino for the next step of the quest, feel free to go back inside and do so. So we're all on the same step. But I'm already in the cutscene. Let's see. You desire to cancel, and so you shall have it. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn must leave Ulda.
What is... Which one is yours? Like, which quest?
I don't know the name of the one, but it's the one that you hand into Alphino in the hallway.
Lake binding decision, right?
Yeah, go ahead and do...
Whichever one Alphino gives you in the hallway, that's what it is. I don't know what it's called.
Zazawaka, the sticks of Vilekin repellent.
Oh.
That's
yet.
not it.
Not yet. I guess I have to go because I didn't get that one, so no worries. Let me go and...
That can't be it.
The Vilekin repellent is definitely a side quest, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I forget what it leads to, though.
Just dumb.
The one that is the circle with the flaming coming off of it.
Yeah.
None of them are for me.
In that case, go back inside, and Alphino will be offering you a new quest with the meteor symbol around it.
All good.
All bad.
You probably handed in the quest to Alphino and then didn't take the new one. Is probably what happened. Right, so long as we remain within Uldan territory, we will never be free to act with impunity. Moving our headquarters to Vesper Bay only delayed the inevitable. We have demonstrated our capabilities and the Syndicate has taken note. They will not suffer our organization to remain independent now. We are far too dangerous for that. Surely you realize they are the reason the Vesper Bay still lacks an aetherite. They know full well how beneficial one would be to our cause, which is why it and other favors will be denied to us unless we cooperate. Experience has taught us that the appearance of neutrality is as important as the reality. Accordingly, we must keep each of the great nations at arm's length, and plant our banner in a place which we all agree to be beyond their borders. Mordona. That is the one zone we've been to that does not have a country affiliated with it. Revenant's Toll, to be precise. It lies within neutral territory and offers all the essential facilities we require. By way of an additional benefit, it is also frequented by a veritable legion of adventurers who may serve to supplement our ranks. I am, of course, conscious of the fact that we have developed a certain bond with Ulda and her people over the years, but I truly believe this to be the best course of action. Ulda is our home, Alphino. Decision is yours to make. I ask only that you recall the shared purpose which first moves us to found the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
The what?
The what now?
Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
What? Okay then.
We aspire to an ideal, you and I, just as my grandfather did. As much your family as... that will be all. I could not very well allow my personal affairs to come before the needs of the Order, after all. I don't need any of those rings. Yeah, Kai, remember what I said last week? That it was probably a good idea to set our home point to Revenant's Toll?
Yeah.
Now you see why. That's about to become the new Scion headquarters. Alright, I'm going to take the moving on quest and then we will move on. Alphino has a point though. We can't maintain our neutrality to the world while having our headquarters inside Ulda.
It's true.
We kind of have to leave.
I mean, you can technically maintain your own personal neutralities, but nobody's going to believe it.
Right. It's exactly what Menphilia, or actually no, I think it was Alphino who said it. The appearance of neutrality is just as important as the reality of neutrality. So we can be as neutral as we want in Ulda, but it will still appear like we're not.
Which is going to put Ulda at risk, actually.
It's going to put us at risk too, because the Syndicate's going to lean on us to more and more. They're not going to let us stay neutral. They're going to make shit more difficult for us. Like they said, the lack of an aetherite. In Revenant's Toll, we will have an aetherite. Right out front of our front door, in fact.
Yeet.
Minor spoiler, but remember the tavern in Revenant's Toll? We're moving in there.
Good place. Taverns make fantastic like hidey
home
holes
bases
for people.
Yeah, basically there's a whole back section to it. That's going to be our base.
Besides, taverns have a tendency, depending on the history of the area, to have little hidden areas that are completely secret.
This one's not completely secret. The door's obvious, but
there could be, whole entire areas for large things to hide, or just, a small corner and.
Why are you looking over here when you say that?
Yeah.
Because you know exactly what I'm talking about. A small little hidden corner to shag.
Oh my. And Philly is adoptive mother, you say?
Read the same book. You knew exactly where I was headed with that.
Indeed, I do.
Body was never found. Okay, rather than read this entire thing out this time, I will summarize this one. Everybody believes Minfilia's mother to be dead, but Alphino's like, maybe not. Let's go see if we can find her. Spoiler alert, we find her. But that will be next time. Also, as mentioned earlier, starting next week, we will be doing this on different days. We're still figuring out exactly when. But I will post it on the Discord and Twitter when we figured it out. But it won't be Monday or Tuesday anymore. Hello.
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 I made it.
Yay. Oop, that was the wrong fucking button. You ever try to turn the camera and hit the wrong button?
It happened to me.
And
So yeah, we're going to have new voice actors soon. We're going to be meeting some more interesting new characters soon and seeing some interesting new places soon. It'll be good times. All right. Let's see if our friends are still streaming today, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
It is time for our last raid to Hero's Journey. Unless we end up streaming on Sundays, but we probably won't be. But I do encourage people to continue to visit them on Tuesdays and or Sundays on your own because they are good people.
Yeah, like I do. Actually, fairly regularly. I stop in on their other streams.
I haven't been because I've been working on Sundays, but I'm not going to be anymore, so maybe I will. All right, here we go. It is raid. It is raid time. All right. Thank you for dropping by, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for hanging out, my friends, and beating the shit out of Ultima Weapon with me.
Yep. Thanks for having.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye.